Galloway's Tech Talk at 3, eSight wearable technology.
Okay, so welcome everybody to Galloway's Tech Talk at 3. I hope you're doing all well on this miserable, rainy, wet day in the UK. I don't know what's it like in Toronto, Canada.
It's actually sunny today,
Is it?
but it has been really rainy all week. So
Yeah, is it quite cold as well?
a bit cold and windy.
A bit cold and windy. Oh well, so we're both the same, and but it's brilliant that you guys have joined us today from eSight. So welcome to Laura and also Caleb as well. It's great to have you guys join us all the way from Toronto, Canada. It's like Galloway's. We're just international now. We're going international, so it's great. So over to you guys. Do you want to? First tell us a little bit about yourself, Laura and Caleb, and what you do at eSight, and then if you kind of want to tell us more about the technology, that would be brilliant.
Sure, I'll let Caleb introduce himself first.
All right, I'm the International Business Development Intern. Been here for about 2 months, and just happy to be here with Laura to present eSight and its technology for the low vision community.
And I've been here for just 3 months now, and I'm the growth project manager. And I'm mostly working on international growth of the company, but I also do some work in operations and a little bit of everything. So yeah, and I'm really excited to be here today to talk about eSight and show you guys a bit of a demo and answer any questions that you guys might have about the technology as well.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of questions. We have plenty of questions coming through. Right. Absolutely, yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Cool. And just feel free to interrupt at any time if I'm not describing something enough, or there's just a need of any clarification.
Brilliant. That's great stuff. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. So, what is eSight? Tell us more about it. And I know that eSight's been around now for about 4 or 5 years, I think, and it's shaped and changed over the years, and it's got smaller, it's got lighter, and it's got more portable as well for people, hasn't it? So, but yeah, brilliant. Really looking forward to hearing more.
Yeah. So at eSight, we created like a medical device to help people with low vision, specifically those with central vision loss. And so, yeah, over the years, it's adapted from, this is the third version. And yeah, and so we still keep working on how to improve this version and next generations as well. So yeah, I'm just going to hop in and just start talking a little bit about this device. So this is the eSight 4 device. And as you can see, there is a halo component to the device. A big part of the success of the device is actually fitting the device properly. And there's a series of dials on the device. One's right at the front, and that's used to adjust the halo. And then there's also dials along the sides of the device, which is used to adjust almost like the glasses part, which is at the front of the device. These are used to adjust the distance of the glasses from the distance of or how close the glasses are to your face or to your eyes. And the reason for, I guess, this design is that the halo, it's designed so that it feels really light and the weight is evenly distributed around on your head, so that you don't feel like sort of any heavy pressure from the glasses like resting on your face. And actually the front of the glasses doesn't actually rest on your face at all. It doesn't even sit on your nose. This is just a protection. It actually just kind of hovers over top of the front of your face. And this allows to accommodate if the user has any glasses or just needs kind of like to adjust the space between the glasses and their face for comfort and to be able to use the device and see better. Yeah, so once the device is actually on, so I'll give, and before I hop over to that, actually, the battery is at the end, and actually what was just mentioned is that eSight is known for being extremely mobile low vision device. So the batteries actually last for 3 hours each. And you can swap the batteries in and out. They fit into the device either way to help people with low vision just like quickly swap the batteries out and not worry about which way they're putting it, batteries in. Yeah, and so this allows people to be completely mobile throughout like an 8-hour day and just swap the batteries in and out. And because there is an internal battery inside, the device doesn't actually shut down when you're changing the batteries, which is really convenient. Do you have any questions so far?
I didn't know that bit, about the batteries. That's a good one. Because I thought, if you're in the middle of doing something and you got to change the batteries, and then, and maybe if you need to carry on without interruption, that's pretty good. Is that kind of only a short-term battery, the one that's in the device?
Yeah, so each battery, that comes with 2 batteries. Yeah, and they last for 3 hours each, and they only take about 2 to 3 hours to charge. So you can actually charge one battery while you're using the other. Yeah, and so you can constantly keep going and have a full 8-hour workday with the eSight, which is great. Cool. Yeah, and when it comes to fitting the device, in terms of aligning the device with your personal pupillary distance, because it's important to have the 2 screens that are inside the device aligned to the center of each eye. And so we actually have, it's kind of a little bit difficult to see on here, but we have actually like a measure on each side of the eSight. And so that you can actually move the screens on the inside. And usually this is done, if it's not done previously before fitting, you can actually adjust it when it's on, just to align exactly with the center of each eye in order to give you the best results. Yeah, and so with fitting, so I'm just going to demonstrate putting the eSight on. With fitting, so we recommend that the back of the eSight is at a 45-degree angle from the back of your head to the front. And then we just want to make sure that the top of the eSight is resting and it doesn't feel like it's falling. So you can use the dial at the front to sort of adjust that. And then also we have this patented bioptic tilt. And you can rotate the visor in order to see, you can rotate the visor all the way up so that you're using just fully your native vision. You can also rotate it so that you can look through the glasses, but then also use your native vision, and then, or you can fully kind of immerse into the experience of the eSight, which is great for just different options depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, I like the idea of that, being able to kind of, if you're doing a task, or I sometimes think if you want to kind of quickly see what's around you, naturally see what's around you really quickly, that you don't have to take it off, and you can have a quick glimpse, reorientate yourself, and then put the visor back down again for that magnification. Because that's always one of the things that can be difficult, is that when you zoomed into an area or you're looking at something really closely, you then miss what's around you. So to be able to do that, I think is really, really, really good.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll move into the features of the eSight, and the easiest way to explain this is by showing you guys the remote. So the remote is just one of 3 ways that you can control the eSight device. And so it's designed so that it's pretty clear and easy to use, like pretty standard remote, mostly around these 4 arrows, like up, down, left, right. And so the first feature I'll discuss is the zoom feature. So if you tap on the up or down arrows, the eSight will actually zoom in and out, and it zooms up until about 24x, so 24 times what we see. It'll make it 24 times larger at full zoom capacity, which is a lot. So there's a lot to work with within that range. And then the left and right arrows will adjust the contrast, which will help people, depending on which situation they're in, either read better or just adapt to their specific condition in order for them to navigate whatever they're doing a lot better. Then we have this button at the top, which is a reset button. And so if you're zoomed in and the contrast is really high and you want to go back to like the normal conditions, you can actually just reset the view so that you are you're back to normal. And you know that you're fully zoomed out, there's no contrast on, it's just like a bit of a like reset, reorient yourself. In this live view menu, there's a couple other options. You can turn on a flashlight. I can actually do that to show you guys, because you'll probably be able to see the flashlight better than me. Oh, I gotta turn the device on, but I'll turn it on while I finish navigating the features. Oh, I don't know why it's not. Caleb will figure that out while I finish this. So then when you're zooming in, we also have this really neat feature. It's called the Finder button. This is just, it's similar to the reset button, but it's like a temporary reset. So let's say you're crossing the road and you're zoomed in to a sign because you're reading it, but it's quite far away. So you zoom in really far, but then all of a sudden the light turns green and it's time for you to walk, and you want to temporarily reorient yourself. You're going to use the Finder button, which will bring you back to like zoom 0. And you'll be able to, cross the street. And then if you want to zoom back into what you were looking at, you just let go of the Finder button, and you'll zoom right back in, which is a really great tool. And one of like the main features, which is why it's on in the middle of the remote. Then there's just this back button to help you better navigate the menu options. And then the home menu is another menu in addition to the live view menu, which just gives you a lot of access to, let's say, any PDFs, photos, libraries that you upload onto the device, or photos that you take with the device. So you can actually take photos with this center button here, and it'll store onto the device, which is really cool. So do we have any questions so far?
Yeah, I quite like that button, that find button. It's a little bit
Finder,
like, yeah, it's kind of like going from the if you were to lift the visor and see what was around you. It's kind of that same type of thing, isn't it, to be able to change the view that you're looking at, just to kind of reorientate.
Exactly.
Can be really, I can imagine that could be useful in lots of different ways, like if you were reading as well with the device, and
for sure,
you wanted to like look at the whole document as one, and then you wanted to then zoom back in to kind of reorientate yourself. I suppose you could use it in that way as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so within the Finder feature, live view menu, we have different options in terms of like settings. So if you're we call them our filters, so a normal filter or an outdoor filter, it just helps the eSight automatically. We have these algorithms that automatically create the best possible settings for whichever environment that you're in. And then you can also create like a custom setting if you're in a very specialized environment or very unique environment, let's say for work, where you have like a screen a certain distance from your eyes, and maybe it's a bit darker. You can actually create a custom mode, and then that's your custom mode that you use for work. Although we do recommend just using the preset filters, because those are, the algorithms are made to allow you to have the best results and experience. So there's the flashlight. Perfect timing.
Flash everybody. There
we go. Yeah, it's quite bright. That.
Yeah. For those on the phone, the flashlight is right in the middle of your eyes, facing outwards. So you'd be not quite Cyclops, but that's where it's almost like the very bridge of your nose.
A little bit. Yeah. And so moving on to this, you can actually just keep it on. I'll just demonstrate mine. So moving on to actually the second way to control the device, and a really interesting, it's on this side. So there's actually a touchpad on the right side of the device, and it allows you to, So there's
these, on the arm of it, guys,
where
the Braille.
Yeah, so there's
to find
On
the
the right
touchpad.
arm. Yeah.
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 And so if you actually, when you swipe forward, that's your zoom in, and when you swipe backwards, that's your zoom out. And then contrast is up to increase contrast, and contrast to reduce contrast is swiping down.
Yeah, it's like gestures on your smartphone or your tablet, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it's really convenient because you don't really need to carry around the remote, although the remote does provide you access to like more features, and people do like to have the remote for convenience purposes. And there's also a menu button as well on top of the small little dot button here, which acts very similar to the live view menu button on the remote. Yeah, so yeah, and then the third way to control the remote, which is like personally my favorite, it's the mobile app, which you can connect to the device, and it's the eSight mobile app, and it gives you access to a remote similar to this, but it's digital. But you can do all the same things here that you can do on the app remote, which means that you wouldn't need to carry this around, but you could still have like your app and be able to access all the features, which is great. And then we also have we have 6 additional features with the app. Really cool features like e-mirror, which allows you to mirror your screen onto the device. So you can watch like YouTube videos just directly on the device. You can do like an e-cast. So you're casting, there's e-share. There's too many. So yeah, so there's an option where you can take your photos from your phone and put them onto the device directly. So you're just sharing the photos from your phone onto the device. And if you take any photos from the device using like this button, or you record any videos, you can easily transfer those that data onto your phone as well. So there's just quick options there using the app, which is really great. So do we have any questions specifically about the app? There's a lot you can do there. So I just want to make sure that that's clear.
I was just thinking, it's the first time that I'd heard that you could use it with an app, and I suppose in the future that could open some more opportunities to using the camera view in terms of maybe working in conjunction with other app developers or services where you might want to use something like Be My Eyes or Ira through using the glasses as well if you needed extra help from someone, almost like a live webcam for other people to see where you are. So is that something that eSight might be looking at in the future in terms of how they can build this more into the smartphone?
Yeah, so we have actually, I think they're gonna keep improving, but we do have quite a bit of features already. That reminds me to mention actually shared access, which is a really, really cool feature where you can input. I can actually show you. I have the app open. So
cool.
Sorry, it might be a bit blurry or it might be a bit bright. But shared access is really neat. Yeah. So what you can do here, let's say, so I'll give an example. So let's say you're in the UK and you have a family member in Toronto, and you are the eSight user yourself, and your grandson or granddaughter is in Toronto. And let's say you either need assistance with something that you're doing, or you need, or you actually just want to spend some time together. You can invite, click the button here to invite a user. And so what you do is you input the email address of your granddaughter or grandson, and they'll receive an invite on their email, and they'll just create an account really quickly. And then they'll be able to actually access what you're viewing from your eSight in the UK.
Wow.
Which is really great because it allows you to either, just connect and spend like time together, or it could be for an assistive purpose if you're having trouble reading something, or just like you're actually trying to navigate a space and you're kind of confused. So that's really, really helpful. That's one of my favorite features for sure.
Yeah, sounds good. That sounds a good thing to be able to do actually, and then you can talk to them at the same point as they can see through the glasses. You're able to speak to them as well at the same time.
Yeah. You'd probably have to be, I assume you'd have to be like on the phone. But yeah, you would be able to see exactly what the other person is seeing at the same time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once they've got the shared screen, if you then give each other a quick, one of you ring the other, then you're all connected.
Exactly.
It's all good.
Exactly. And just since I have this up now, so this is what the remote looks like on the mobile app. And this is like the touchpad, and then this is like the finder feature, the home button, the back. The symbols are all the same. Just oriented a little bit different. But
quite big icons, aren't they? They're quite big as well. Yeah.
So on the remote control, guys, it looks very similar to a TV remote, where you've got two smaller buttons on the top, and then you've got your standard circle. So if you've got a Sky remote over in the UK, you'll know that it's a circle, and you've got your OK button in the middle, up, down, left, and right, and then you've got your what would traditionally be your volume buttons underneath.
Exactly.
But these are your back, forwards, and your quick reset button there, and they are, all the buttons are grey, white. They're quite a strong contrast to the black of the main case anyway. So thanks for that, guys. Sorry, I was just those that are on the phone and stuff.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks for describing that.
Yeah, and we like really easy to use remote controls that are at that high contrast and easy for people to see as well. You know, it makes life so much easier.
Yeah, so that pretty much covers, I guess, all the ways that you can, all the features, and the overall functionality of the eSight. So we're open to any questions.
Cool. Before we open the floor up for people to ask questions, in the UK, if obviously people may be wondering if they want to try it out or give it a go, there are some suppliers in the UK that can do the demonstrations of the eSight. So there's a couple of companies that we already work with that have eSight available, you know, for people to try. But what does, I mean, in terms of kind of being assessed or trying one of these devices out, what generally does that entail in terms of kind of an assessment, really, as to know whether it's going to be something that's going to be useful for you to use? And is there kind of like an assessment process for people to go through just to make sure that it's the right type of device for them?
Yeah, so we have, what we usually ask is what type of eye condition that somebody has. So we have like proven that 24 different eye conditions, eSight treats over 24 different eye conditions. So some of these being, for example, like macular degeneration, Stargardt's disease, diabetic retinopathy. I hope I'm saying that right. And so what we recommend is first finding out which eye condition that the potential user has. We ask them if they have central vision loss or peripheral. So eSight is an ideal match for those with central vision loss, because the technology actually leverages the existing peripheral vision that the user has. So that's really, really important. We like to know how much field of vision that person currently has. eSight works great for people that have a field of vision of 20 degrees or greater. And then also a great way to know if eSight is going to be good for somebody is if they're currently using any type of magnification assistance to help them see better. So that's another great indicator. And usually if all of these factors are present, then eSight would have really good results, most likely.
Yeah, I think that the peripheral vision loss is one of the advantages, isn't it? Because I suppose for people to understand that is it, how many cameras are there in the devices? Is it one, or is one camera? Is it? in the device, or is there two cameras?
So there's the one camera right here.
In the right in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, and then here actually there's kind of flashing lights. These are the sensors that help actually that help all the features pretty much work.
So that camera, I suppose, is able to capture quite a wide field of what people like myself with I've got my condition's called glaucoma, so my peripheral vision is very, very narrow, and indeed. So the idea is that the camera lens can be can display and project that image, but using that wide lens. And I think that's sometimes what people struggle to grasp, is that, like, how can I kind of get that peripheral vision in a device, but because it's using a wide angled lens, which is then projecting that image in your central vision, or your part of vision where you need to see it. And,
exactly. So the device has two prisms behind their screens. So there's one for each eye, and I don't know exactly like the science of it, but pretty much like the prisms are within these two screens that each eye is looking through.
Okay.
And then the camera is on the front side, and so whatever the camera is, pretty much the prisms are what is leveraging that peripheral vision, and working together with the camera to help leverage that what's left in the peripheral vision of the full picture of the screen.
Yeah, brilliant.
They're a bit like our TV glasses, guys, for those that have seen those. So you've got the same shape lens, a very small squared lens, which is where your prism is, and then they've got our TV glasses. Then you alter the sides of them, and you can bring in and out the magnification, and that's where your camera is on the front, where that additional magnification is for our TV glasses over here. They're just standard, magnified, clear ones, but it's a very similar look. Apart from the fact that the eSight device is very sleek looking, it's very nice, grey and smooth, but a very similar kind of design focus on the back. But because it's got the Halo headset, it's going to balance that out, because the TV glasses are quite heavy. Just bear with me, I'll show you a pair, guys. You carry on talking and I'll just get you a pair to show you guys.
Yeah, they can be quite heavy, can't they? And I think sometimes one of the things, not a difficulty for everybody, but I've also found that with this type of technology, originally when it first came out, I found it quite difficult to see the screens on the glasses. So I'm imagining now that they're bigger than they used to be as well. What the image that was projected is bigger than they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, usually, like when you're looking into the screens, like when I see what the image that I see, it's the full scope of my vision. Like, it really feels like I can kind of see on like the peripherals, like what's happening around me. It's not just like, it's not super narrow.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, that's great. Well, what we'll do, and so there's a company in the UK called Vision Aid Technology, and we do work with them quite a lot, and they have the eSight technology. And so if people are interested in trying it in the UK, you can get in touch with Vision Aid Technology. They've actually been on our Tech Talks a few times as well. But we've not done anything around eSight. But it's great to get you guys on from Toronto to come and tell us about it, because you're the guys doing it. It's where it comes from, so it's great to have you with us. So Laura, if people want to find out more about eSight, what's the best way? That going on the website?
Yeah, so if you're interested in trying the device, our distributors at Vision Aid provide demos, and they supply the device in the UK. But you can also email help@esighteyewear.com. I can put it in the description.
Cool. Yeah.
Sorry, in the chat.
Yeah, and you got a good website there as well, haven't you? Is that eSight.com?
Yes.
as well. So people will be able to go on there and find out more as well on eSight.com. And I'm sure there's lots of interesting videos and all kinds of things that people can watch as well. And I've seen some really good stories about different people who use it on
there's
there as well.
There's tons of really nice videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
About people trying the device for the first time and not having been able to see, and then with eSight they can see again and see their family, which is really great.
Well, that's brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Laura.
Before you leave us, can I just say that's a very impressive device, and thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Roy.
Thank you, Roy.
Thanks, Roy.
That's great. That's lovely. And thanks, Sarah and Caleb from eSight. It's been great having you join us today, and we'll definitely keep in touch and get you on again soon as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.